Welcome to the Busy Being Born podcast with your hosts Kamande and Kigondu.
Mato, kuna njia hapo? Kuna njia hapo?
Njia wapi?
No way.
Wait, maze, you're rehearsing for Nani's jokes, eh? You're rehearsing for Grace's jokes. Jesus Christ.
Hey guys, come
Hey,
on.
no. Hapo abuataka ile ya nini exactly.
I'm sorry.
My
What happened?
That was a joke in there.
You ilinipita. Like I didn't get that one.
Like, sawa, hata tuta explain. How you doing, man? I hope you're better than your jokes.
I am as good. But what do you mean?
Okay, proceed, bro.
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Niko fiti, man.
It's been a minute.
Literally. Yeah, like since the last episode.
Yeah, since the last episode.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, very good to see you, man.
Good to see you as well.
How have you been since the last time I saw you?
Well, nothing much has changed. Let's see. By the time this episode is coming out, I think we'll either be running Kagia, we'll be on stage, Ama will just be done with Kagia.
Let's actually take a minute to plug that in.
Yeah.
When is Kagia showing?
Oof. Okay. I hope you get to listen to this episode before it's done, but it might be pretty late. But Kagia is running from the 9th to the 19th
Of November.
Okay. So come watch the story of the man, the myth, the legend, build at Kagia. Most of the people just know him from GHC and social science. Well, I think kulikuwa na kawimbo Achieng Oneko build at Kagia. I don't know the song, but anyway.
But if you're from Oranga, you know because of the road.
I guess. Yeah.
Kagia Road.
That's what Kibaki promised.
Yeah, when
happen.
he died, they put up like a huge thing. And now there's a road, that road to his house.
But he died, a poor man in Ofafa, Jericho, after all those years.
And now they build a huge thing for him.
Too late, man. But anyway.
And then a road named after him.
Yeah. So that's probably what we'll be showing if it hasn't shown by now. And of Chords and Discord, Martin Kikon to Play is back all those years later. Itakuwa at the Braeburn Theatre
in December.
Not in December, November.
Okay.
So tunaweza sema November, that second weekend of November. Guys can catch it starring I hope the cast doesn't change. So maybe, I don't know, let me just announce it. Mary Mwikali, who we've had here.
Oh, wow.
Mwikali is back on stage, and Celestine Gashohe, who a lot of people know as Selena. So I hope the cast doesn't change.
First one?
The first one ilikuwa Valentine Ziki, who's playing my wife in Kagia, and Veronica Asheke, who's been on the podcast.
Yeah. I'm a good fan of the podcast. Oh, wow. We're building a small community here.
Of busy being born. What would they be called? I don't know. Busy being born. Alumni? That's what's up. We'll keep that.
I was something like, hives, be like, like...
No? Like Beyonce? Okay, so Charity.
Okay.
All good.
We have a guest.
We have a guest.
Go ahead, ask the question.
Jump in?
Yeah.
That's what's up. This is so impressive, a resume. So I'll just read it as is.
Are they brilliant?
Oh, yes, they are brilliant. What you talking about? They are brilliant.
Amazing.
Keep asking.
Are they representing the motherland?
Definitely representing the motherland. Yeah. So much so, yeah. Nimesikia walikuwa na 449 back in the day.
Me by the
impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Nimake sure hata hii episode unaweza changia.
We'll discuss this later. Are they busy being born?
They're definitely busy being born, so much so especially because of the different choices, iterations and versions of themselves through their story. Amazing. I only have hints here and there, but hey, we'll dig in.
Tell us more.
Ladies and gentlemen, we give you a phenomenal human being. If you've just met her for the first time, you can attest that she's super bubbly, she's so smart. Utamwongelesha after a few minutes, okay, this woman is really smart, and ameficha miaka kwa Magoti, so we won't even talk about that. We give you a marketing strategist, an entrepreneur, an event curator whose career spans both in the US and Africa. After building her expertise in Denver, Colorado, working with organizations like NAACP Denver, the African Leadership Group, and several startups before she made the bold move to came back to Africa, to Nairobi a year ago being last year, to expand her impact and vision. She is a founder of Media Light Agency, Colorado. Do I say it right? Colorado. Hey, Colorado. A Colorado-based digital marketing agency, and the founder of Corner Networks. That's how I knew her. And this is a platform dedicated to bridging the diaspora community gap by telling stories of those who have made the journey back home. I could go on and on and on. She's worked with really good people even back here at home. So alongside her marketing work, Sylvia, I've said her name, but I'll give you the longer name, has curated events in both out there, that is the US, Colorado, and Nairobi. Nimesema Colorado, bro, chill. Ranging from advocacy-driven gatherings to professional mixers and thought leadership forums. In Kenya, she has led high-level projects with organizations such as the Commercial Club of Africa and the Kenya School of Sales, while also guiding artists, founders, and executives in personal brand development and go-to-market strategy.
GTM.
Yes, sir. Beyond her professional work, Sylvia is passionate about building communities, creating platforms of growth, and sharing the real experiences of navigating life between continents. Her move from Denver to Nairobi, Kananairofi, reflects her belief in courage, faith, and purpose, choosing to step into new spaces where she can build, learn, and inspire. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you the one and the only phenomenal digital marketing strategist, Sylvia Karanja. Yes,
Thanks, guys. Where? Your bio?
Sindio?
Hey,
Impressive. Impressive. I wonder who wrote
Sana.
it.
I wonder who wrote it.
Nguvu kama cement.
Tumeanza.
Thank you,
That's the last
Sylvia.
one. That's
Thank
the
you,
last one.
Is it
Sylvia.
the
Yo, welcome home.
Welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What names do you go by? What's your favorite name?
Let's go with Sly. I like Sly.
Okay. If someone calls you Sly, would you sort of associate them with a certain part of your life?
Certain season.
Ooh, that's such a good question. Yes, actually. I feel no. So actually, before Sly, let me give you the name that people used to call me before Sly. Back in high school, it used to be Slyo.
Slyo.
I used to be Slyo in high school. Then I moved to the States and it was Sly, because gotta keep it cute. And then, so it depends. If you know me as Slyo, because since I moved back, most of my friends are still like Slyo. And I'm like, hey, it's been a minute since I've been called that. But then Sly is post Kenya.
Okay.
And then, which I think I've kept it till today.
Yeah.
But every now and then you'll get a Slyo, someone calling me Slyo, Sonny, if you're family.
Sonny, you're Mudhoni.
I am a Mudhoni.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So if I call you Sly, Denver.
Not necessarily Denver. Denver, yes. And if you've known me after high school.
Got it. Okay. Some random questions just to sort of get it going.
Okay.
When was the last time you had a hearty laugh or a hearty cry?
A hearty laugh. Probably a couple of days ago on TikTok when I was alone. But gosh, it has to. I'm assuming it's a time I was with people that I love and care about. So, gosh. Actually, I know. Like 2 days ago, I was with family. I'd gone to see my aunt, and all that. And whenever I'm around them, like you'll talk about maybe something from the past, and then you have that nice laugh, So it was the family.
Okay. Okay. What about the crying bit?
I thought you meant hearty laugh or hearty cry.
Both.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Crying, like in not the kind of like I was happy cry, but like a sad cry.
Sad cry as well.
Oh, a sad cry. Hey, Around the end of August. Work was stressing me out.
Okay.
End of August.
Okay.
End of August. I was actually at a funeral and I was crying not because of who we had lost. It was because of work stress.
Yeah.
And I think that for me was when I knew, okay, I cannot keep doing this actually. So.
But it's such a good strategy, you know. Like,
Yeah.
because no one will think that you're crying because of
Yeah,
stress.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it didn't look off. It didn't. Honestly, I was like, it's okay. People can see me cry because everyone will be like,
No
"Oh my
one-
gosh, she's so
yeah.
sad." Not to say it wasn't. It was definitely a
Sad.
sad. Because I mean, you
But
had a funeral,
everything. You allow
but it was
everything to
just
come to
all
the
of those
surface.
emotions
Yeah,
of
just allow all
like
of them.
grief.
Yeah.
And my grief was more so I knew a chapter in my life was ending, and then being at a funeral where somebody's also chapter is ending per se. I think all of that culmination, I was just so frustrated and also stressed, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It was a day before a big event, so I'm super stressed. I remember crying and I was like, I've had enough.
Yeah.
That's
how,
really dope.
how do you deal with those situations?
Which ones exactly?
The situations that are really, really
Stressful?
stressful and bring all kinds of emotions, some that cannot even be named.
Crying.
Yeah.
But beyond the crying, I don't like to be around people. So I will kind of like retreat. Yes, that's a word. I'll retreat. And when I retreat, that's when it's like, it's me and God. It's like, listen, this is what's happening. So a lot of prayer during that time for sure. And I journal a lot and I sleep a lot.
You sleep a lot.
As a way to avoid dealing with whatever it is I need to deal with. I'm like, you know what? And I heard this from a different podcast a few years ago, and she might have been joking about it, but it was one of those things of like, if you're stressed, if you don't know what to do, take a nap. Just take a nap. Me, I was like, all I do is now take naps. I'm stressed. What's a tunilale? Santa do. I'll figure it out when I wake up. By I retweet a lot, and I don't know if it's healthy, but that is kind
That's
of
the thing you
that's
do.
what I do. That's what
You mentioned two things. One of the things that you mentioned was in that moment you're like, I cannot keep doing this.
yeah.
I'm curious what you mean by that. And maybe it's connected to my second question, which you knew it was a ending of a chapter. Yeah. So are these things you could talk about?
Yes. So, all right. I'll kind of take it back to when I moved. When I decided, more so when I moved back to the country. Okay, yeah. Let me take a few steps back. So I came back I first came to visit into 2023. And it was one of those, let me just come back to Kenya, a 1 month vacation, summer bunny situation kind of thing. And what had made me decide to come to Kenya was because I was actually planning a move. I live in Colorado at the time. And then I wanted to move to Houston in Texas. And the reason that is because since we moved to America, I'd only lived in Colorado. Gone with my whole family, we'd all moved there. And so I hadn't lived anywhere else by myself. And I felt like I had given everything I needed to give to Colorado and to the people of Colorado. That is my family, my friends. And now it was time to figure out who is Sylvia when she is not confined to the identity of being a sister, a daughter, like that person that you reach out to, that you call for help. Nini. I was like, but who am I when I'm not always giving of myself? And so I had decided to move to Houston, and that's because I'd gone and visited, and there was something about Houston that just felt very homey. And the hominess was because it kind of I felt like, oh, this reminds me a lot of Kenya, reminds me a lot of Nairobi. And so I was like, I like Houston. I think we'll do Houston. And so before I'd quit my job, sold everything, my car, my lease, ilikuwa imeisha, I was like, well, before all of that, see, we just go to Kenya, decompress kidogo, and then we'll come back and do the big move. And then when I was here, 2 weeks in, I was like, yeah, I guess I'm not going anywhere, right? And so now I had to now start telling my family back, like, hey guys, I think I want to move back to Kenya. Obviously, they all thought that was the craziest thing because you're alone. I did not have a plan. Siati, I have a job waiting for me here. Nothing like that. And so that was back in 23. And then I did a lot of like back and forth in 24. And then I officially moved back end of July, beginning of August last year.
24.
Of 24. So when I came, I had all of this like big dreams of like, this is what by that time I'd had some time to kind of think of the things I wanted to come to Kenya and do, especially like business wise and like work wise. I was like, all right, I think maybe there are a few creative projects I might decide to embark on, because I'm like, again, this is time to really discover myself. And then I came, fast forward, beginning of 25, kidogo, I'm starting to do those things that I'm passionate about. And then I got offered an opportunity for work. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's do it. And I'm not saying it wasn't the right decision, but me doing that work meant I could not focus on the things that I told myself I was meant to focus on. Few months in, yes, I'm doing good work with the organization, but then a part of me is feeling like there's something amiss. And I was now wrestling with that decision of like, are you sure you want to leave this work to focus on your passion projects? And there's always that risk. And so when I said I knew it was time, it's because I had this thought in my head for like ilikuwa na marinate for quite some time, and I was like, nah, it's time. It's funny enough, it was after my birthday. My birthday is in June, and you know when you're starting to think about the new, like this new year, what do you want to do? That was the thing. Was like, there's this thing that you've been letting hang, and you know that's something you need to do. So why aren't you doing it? So I remember I told the guy that I was working with, I told him, hey, I think it's time. We have this one big project, we have this one big event that we're doing. After that, I'm done. And now by the funeral time, I was like, I'm definitely done. You know, and by that time, I'm like, oh yeah, I had been done, but that one was like, I'm done. Yeah. So
that explains it.
I hope that answers your question.
It definitely does. Was that the last thing you changed your mind about, you know, the Jobo thing? Has there been another recent thing that you...
Does a breakup count?
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does.
It's a big change of mind.
Quite, you know?
Yeah. Those are very around the same time, actually.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. Okay,
That is a lot.
definitely need for tears.
There was a lot of grief happening in that month.
Yeah. Yeah, and the breakup is grief as well.
It's grief. It's all
Leaving
grief.
a solid gig is grief as well. Then loss is grief as well. That's a lot.
So yeah, there was actually quite a lot of grief happening in that month. Yeah.
Yikes. Okay.
Then you go to the funeral and it's all a reminder of this process of change and grief and loss.
And the shortness of life, man.
The shortness of life. All right.
And actually, yeah, I remember it was at that I was like, honestly, life is so short for you not to do the thing that you actually care about.
Yeah.
Because you can be here like, yeah, let me do what seems right now. You know what? The quote-unquote right thing to do, but it's like, are you happy? Are you being fulfilled? Are you doing your God-given mandate? And it didn't feel like I was. And I was like, man, you could go just like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened. And it was the crash ile ya Mwehoko.
yeah,
So
that's pretty recent.
That was
yeah?
very recent. So again, life is so fickle. So fickle. So if anything, do the things that you love.
You
Be
really
around
want
the
to
people
do.
that love you. Life is too short to be around people that do not love you. Life is too short to not love and be loved. So yeah, there's a lot of
going on. A lot was going on.
yeah. There's a lot going on. A lot of just like reflection and grief.
Okay.
From loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aye. So building to that story, we've clearly touched on a couple of things. We've touched a bit around faith. I'm sure we have curiosities around that. We've spoken about family as well, yeah? So maybe to answer these questions, we need to build a foundation to get in there, Cindy. So how about we throw it back to the beginnings of, yeah? You've spoken of the life in the US, yeah? And there's family there. Was this always the case? Because we witnessed a moment between you and our previous guest, and clearly there was a connection from back in the day, and his experience out of the country was on the other side. He was in Germany and Nigeria, so it clearly wasn't the US that you met. No. Let's talk about the beginnings of
Muthoni.
a very young
wow.
Muthoni, Cindy.
Wow. You guys, we just met.
Let's take it back.
So let's take it back there. Where do you grow up? How many siblings do you have? Etc. etc.
Where are you growing up? Where are you growing up?
Where am I Hey. Well, born in, I think, Hosi ilikuwa Nakuru.
Okay.
But raised in Nyahururu, actually. Went to school in Elite and Busara. What? You have a comment?
No, school.
You have a comment about the
say what
schools
you
I went
must.
to? Then after that, I went to the Kenya High School. The Kenya High School, and then after that, I went to the States.
Hey, that's what's up. So did you do your gap year today? Maze nimechoka, msini judge by the way. By the way, we didn't mention today we are shooting on like a kajioni. We normally don't. It's been a long day. So did you do the gap year? Ama you left as soon as you're done with your fourth form?
Actually, let me tell you the story of how that happened. Me, I knew as we were leaving, I think, was I in form? No, I was in form. Was it form 2? No, early form 4. Like first term, second term. They come, like, one of those, like, hey, Sylvia, there's someone here to see you. The first thing you think is like, oh gosh, who has died, right? And then I remember it was my uncle who'd come to get me, and I was like, oh, someone has definitely died. I'm like, why did they send my uncle? And he's like, we get in the car. I go, oh, wait, I'm like, so no one has died? He's like, no. So
You actually asked that?
Yeah, because the last time someone who was not my family member had come to pick me up from school, somebody had died. So I was like, at least let me wacha nijuange mapema. But no, so he's like, no. So your mom won a green card. You guys are going to America. First thought, I don't have to do KCSE.
Oh, thank God. Great timing.
Look at God. But yes. So naenda napigwa picha sijui za visa nini. Yeah, that did not happen. That thing took forever
To
process. I had to do KCSE. I was so mad. So I left the next year.
Okay.
Because honestly, after KCSE and then now the Kagapi is happening, me in my head, I'm like, clearly the America thing is not happening. We haven't heard back from the embassy. I'm like, well, it was cute. But then come May, I think it was April, May, we get a letter. I was like, hey, sasa hizi ni gani? I, funny enough, did not want to go at that time.
What were you up to?
So you know how, okay, when you've been in high school and you're always around girls, and then so your Kagapia, yes, I was doing I was at Alliance doing French, and then I had signed up to do computer. I didn't do
Packages.
These are packages. Like, where people going, e-place, it starts with an I something.
ICDL.
No, the building, the school. I see.
Uh-huh. Keep going.
Yeah,
though.
Okay, whatever. All my friends were like, walikuwa naenda kufanya computer huko. Me, for some reason, there was one that was doing online. Like, we could do them virtually. I was like, that's all right, cool. So I signed up for those ones. Thing is, you have to now show up to the class, to the computer, and do it now from the computer. I never showed up. Nilikula hizo do.
Nah.
Yeah.
Mudhoni.
I think I told my mom that maybe 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember that those computer, but this going Lisa. And so yeah, so around that time I was doing like language, French, and then computer and dating. Because like finally I'm out of school, because I was one of those like quote unquote late bloomers. I was very shy. Very, very shy back then. I had braces. So, and in my head, like, you have, like, no guy wants to talk to you. Like, I look like a kid. I was like, yeah, maybe not. Hey, those braces came out after Form 4. I was like, let's go.
Operation.
I'm quite out here.
Good. So did you see a life for yourself?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'd low-key started seeing a life for myself, and then it's like, oh, now let's cut it short and now go start a new life. And I was like, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to have to now start from scratch making friends. So there was a part of me that was actually upset, because I'm like, this should have happened last year.
Before KCSE.
You know, right? There's the before KCSE part, and then but then I was starting to envision a life of myself here in Kenya, and just the idea of having to start from scratch. I was like, I don't know if I want to do it, but at that time, at that age, you don't really get to have an opinion.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
You don't have
no
a choice. So it's like you just got to do it. Yeah.
Let's take it back a bit, because we glossed over your experience in both the late and Busara. Any highlights, any lessons, anything memorable?
From primary school?
Yeah.
Okay, so something about me is I hate school. So I've noticed there's so much about school that I have like blocked out. Even high school. I don't remember much of high school. Primary, honestly, I don't remember that much.
Was it always like that?
Me hating school? Yes. My mom told me literally from the first duli and nursery. I came back, I was like, yo. By the way, nyinyi mtavaa uniform mwende. My mom tells me that story. She's like, you hated school. And to be honest, I don't know why. But I also used to do quite well in school at the same time. I was like, I guess pick a struggle. Can hate it and also fail. So I don't know why, but school just never did it for me.
Did you participate in any activities beyond just like in the Kenya High? Did you do anything outside of
So mine.
yeah.
I remember I was in choir. I did choir. I did PA, President's Award, because I felt like that was for the bougie folk. I was like, I'm trying to be a bougie folk. So I remember I did PA. I wasn't that active. So like I wouldn't do funkies because I was so shy. So I was, but one thing I do remember about school is I used to get along with people very well. It doesn't matter. So when I went to Kenya High, my sister was in Form 4 and I'm in Form 1. First, you'd see me uko in the dorms with the Form 4s like chilling. And people are like, who is this Kamono here with us? But I could relate to the Form 4s, and I could also, and when I was in Form 4, I can even relate to the Form 1s. Like, you'd now see me as a Form 4 hanging out with the Form 1s. Naju tunatoshana, it's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I think the one thing I would say is how it was easy for me to relate with people. Even like at home, like I was always like a bubbly one, always hanging around people, telling jokes and stuff like that. So
I think last question about for me for this season is, other than noticing that you have this personality that is bubbly, warm, very interpersonal, I suppose. Is there anything that you learned from that whole season that you sort of still use to date? Any lessons?
I think I'm the kind of person, and I can see that. I think I remember most of it from like high school. Is it doesn't really matter who somebody is, whether they're quote unquote, you may assume they're doing better than you or they're lower than you. At the end of the day, we're all people. We all have like there's nothing special about anyone. And I think that was the thing that has made me, like, it's very hard for me to like look at someone, even if you're a celebrity, and be like, oh my God, because I then always remind myself, you're just a kawaida person. And that's why, so I remember especially in high school, Form 4, I was always like, I don't want to look down upon anyone. And I don't know if it's something that I've been taught by my parents or Nini, but it was one thing I always held on to, is like, I don't really care who you are, I'll try and treat you the same way. Emphasis on the try, but yeah. I don't know if
underline
No, it
try.
makes sense.
Yeah,
No, it makes sense.
okay.
No, try. I mean, that's all we're doing here. Trying.
yeah, because and I don't, gosh, primary, and I really blocked out a lot of that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. What about siblings? And
Oh, yeah, you did ask me that.
But by the time you're going to the US, what's the distribution?
What's the distribution?
Yeah.
So I have 2 siblings. I have an older sister and a younger brother. I'm the middle child. I wasn't always the middle child. I was the last born for 15 years. Until I was like, guys, what's going on? Me and my brother have like a 15-year age gap. And now I'm okay. I was not okay for a very long time. So my sister is actually the one who left to go to America first. She went in 2017. I was still in high school and my brother was just a year old. And actually that shifted a lot of things, because now when my sister left, I now became the firstborn. So it was going from lastborn to middle child to now you're firstborn. So there was a lot of transitional things that were happening around that time. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then once you guys left, everyone left.
Now we're all, yeah. So now when my sister left, she left for school, and then now 2 years later, the rest of us go.
Everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Now you're in the US.
Yeah, for the US.
Yeah. Where do you start? How is it for you? What's the experience like?
Well, so I remember when we got there, and I was like, it's not really like the movies. The roads are just like here. They're not as carpeted. It's gonna potholes and anything. I'm like, that's interesting. It wasn't that much of a culture shock, and I think I will attribute that to a lot of TV and movies. It's like, oh yeah, I've seen that on the TV. Oh, I've seen this, I've seen that. So and also the fact that Nairobi is so developed, and so there were a lot of things I was able to be like, oh yeah,
I've seen that before.
I've seen that before. Maybe now what was more of a culture shock was just how well things work. Yeah.
Okay.
And how bad the food can be.
How bad the food can be. That's very underline how bad the food can be. How about the people?
Yeah. I'm trying to be very careful what I say in this day and age. Definitely a lot of white people, more than I was used to. And there was now that shift in the fact that I am a minority. And I say, when you're from, like in Kenya, how we've elevated the white person, the white man, and then now you go to a country where they are the majority, it's so easy to find yourself minimizing yourself so you can make them, so they can stay being the god that you've always seen them to be. And then you meet African Americans who have a different view of the white person, and then you have this like, sort of like a crisis of sorts. So that was definitely very interesting to navigate, because you're African, you're Black in America, but you're African. You're not African American. You're not the quote unquote African American. You're just an African in America, not African American. So that was definitely very interesting to navigate as an adult.
Yeah.
Even though I was more so a child, but an adult at the same time. Yeah.
And how did your parents cope?
I felt like, so my dad, he had this idea of what going to America would mean for him. And then you have the expectation did not match the reality. Because when you go as an older person and you had so much of your life established here in Kenya, you go there, you honestly having to start from scratch. And he's leaving his notoriety and the name recognition and the respect that he had here. And then now you go somewhere and you're literally a nobody. No one knows you. He was a doctor, and then you go from everyone always revering you because you're, this person, daktari. Unaenda huko and it's like, you're literally a nobody. Your credentials, you have to prove them, right? And so you have to now low-key, all your certifications and all your credentials they have, that it has to be matched in America. So you have to go to school, not school per se, but you have to go through some a certification process of some sort. And he wasn't hakuwa na zipita hakuwa na pita, and he couldn't understand why. And it's like, but I'm smart. How come this is not matching? And so I remember for him that was a struggle for him, because then again, as he was a pharmacist with his own pharmacies here, now you have to go back. Now you go there and you now have to work for other people, because it's not the same here how you can go ufungue pharmacy yako. You can't do that. So now you have to work for either a store, let's say like a Walmart, has
CVS, whatever.
a CVS, and whatever, Rite Aid, Walgreens. Yeah, and you have to start from scratch, and then your bosses are like young people, like 20-year-olds, nini ndo adosi wako, and you're like, what is this? So his expectation and reality did not necessarily match, and I know that for him that was definitely a struggle, to a point where, so there was that. And then even just like the whole idea of going from something to nothing, for lack of a better term, it got to a point he had to come back.
Interesting.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah. We'll definitely revisit that for sure, because that's a story by itself.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel when you see your parents struggling? At least in that season.
Oh, wow, I've never been asked that. How did that make me feel? I think because I was in a position to help, because now I can go to work and actually contribute. That was, I just looked at like, okay, how can I almost save the day? And so I guess for me it was like, all right, let's go to work. So okay, and I'm giving you all the tea. when why are you laughing? Why are you because you said, you'll just start opening up. So when we went there, obviously you have to go live with relatives from the very beginning, because you don't have anything of your own. So we lived with relatives. So even because me and my dad are the ones who went first, and then my mom came later. But so when now my mom and my dad were together, they got their own place to live. I did not go live with them for some time, for about a year almost 2 years, so that they can get themselves to a good place, and then I can go move in with them. And then so when I moved in with them, I guess is now when you really get to see things are not what we were used to when we were as a family together. And now we are all adults, we all can work, so we are all pitching in kind of thing. So that was the situation. And it's now it was different, where it's like, oh, now you're talking bills with your parents for the house. Something we've never had to do before. It's like, okay, well, unalipa nini? So now it's not just mom, dad, and child. We are 3 adults. What are we collectively doing? So I don't think I've ever thought about what that did for me, because ever since I got on that plane to leave for America, I felt like I was no longer a kid. So I never got to experience just being my parents' child when I went to America. Yeah, gosh, I don't think I've ever thought about that way. It was now 3 adults.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you needing to do? You speak of work and all that. So what does that look like?
Well,
what's the hustle?
What was my hustle when I went there? So I loved coming to America. And I was like, I will live my coming to America life.
I actually wanted to ask if you ever watched it.
I was like, I will live my coming to America life. And so I did. And I worked at McDonald's. I was like, see, Eddie Murphy.
You just
Cynthia, that's what you do.
You know, that America. Is what, because like, I actually envisioned like, oh my gosh, I romanticized working at McDonald's until I did. And I was like, oh, it's not that cute.
Nothing special.
Nothing special about it. So I did McDonald's. That was my very first job. And that, na hiyo hata nilipanda tu ranks kidogo.
That's what's up.
That's now where I learned how to. That's why I understood, like, now even just like the American currency, I know what a dime is, a penny, a quarter, nini. So because you start off as a cashier, and then I remember my first customer anakuja and unapewa do, maybe they're probably buying coffee or something, and they give me $5, and I'm like, wow, sa change ni nini. Start doing them. And my manager at that time was like, all right, she's like, clearly this girl does not know what she's doing. It's like, this is a quarter, this is a dime, this is a penny, this is this. Like, got it? All right, cool. And then so I felt like it taught me how to talk to people, how to talk to not just people, but just like different kinds of people. Because McDonald's, you'll see everyone from the homeless person to just like the oldest of people, because like they had like senior discounts for like coffees, so you get to interact with like the old folk, obviously the young people, and by young I'm like watoto, because like, you know, they've come to buy like, because McDonald's is cheap, so it's accessible to literally everyone, so you get to interact with anybody and everybody. And I think that's why I got a bit of my confidence of, okay, I can see myself being able to talk to people. So that grounded me in that sense. And then after that, I worked at an old folks home, but in the kitchen.
Okay.
I worked in the kitchen. There, now you're working with just like old people. So I was like, what? Okay. Now there I was able to be like, not all white people look the same. Because me, when you go and it's just old people, I'm like, oh my God, they all look the same. How will I be able to tell the difference? But no, so there I got to really, you know, that thing I was telling you about how we're all the same. I really got to experience that working at that old folks home, because like you're getting to interact with people who are like tap shotters wherever they are, but then now umezeeka, and then your family takes you to an old folks home and they're at your mercy, or rather, they're at my mercy, so to speak. But then you get to just hear these stories, and it really like crystallized that thing of like, imagine we are all just
all the same.
We are all the same. So, and there I really, oh gosh, I actually enjoyed working there, just working with the old people. You get to see that transition of like life to death. To the point where now I can even tell when someone's about to die. Because I worked there, as much as it was the kitchen, just from their eating habits, I was able to be like, yeah, something's now okay with that person. I think that person, they're transitioning. You know? Like, yeah. Like, because it's the same people. It's not like working at a restaurant where you're seeing different people. These are people like you see for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. You see them all day, every day. So to the point where I know what they love to eat. I know how they like their food, nini. So when I start seeing kidogo changes, I'm like,
something is off.
Something is off. And to a point where we had gotten to know each other so well. Like I can go sit down with them and just start talking to them. Wataniambia shida zao. I can ask them questions, nini. And sometimes some open up and tell you what's going on. And like, oh, maybe I want to die or things like that. So it was a very humbling experience working there, but I also genuinely enjoyed it because one, I met some amazing people. Like my coworkers from that job were like dope people. I loved that, and that was the job that I kept when I was in college. Yeah, because we also worked with my schedule at the time. So yeah. So that was a good job.
Oh man,
Good transition.
very, very good transition. Very good transition, because we definitely lean a little bit into the school experience, college and everything. But right before we skip into that, what's the lesson around just life itself are you experiencing then when you're dealing with probably, I'm guessing, back-to-back deaths around that season? Cause
I saw a lot of death.
Time. What was the lesson around death in that season?
And maybe it was from the conversations I would have with the residents, because that's what we'd call them. It's just that thing about do whatever you love and live life to the full, man.
Were there a lot of regrets
When they spoke?
as they spoke?
I don't remember conversations about regret. Because one thing I'll tell you, because even as old as they were, people are still dating in those.
That's what's up.
They were having a good time. They were getting it in.
Hey, that's what's up.
Hey, resident.
But ujaisikia wanasemanga in those like old folks homes, like even the cases of like STDs nani, they're normally pretty high.
Oh no.
They're 94.
Right.
Akikula pill, take a pill and get it going, man.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I remember some funny stories from there. Like the like, especially when it's a new resident coming in, like you can see the guys being like, hey, you know, or the babes, the women,
The babes.
but the babes, and it's like
The 90-year-old babes.
Yeah, when it's a guy coming in, like unawaona, you'd see like sometimes two grandmas are fighting for one guy or vice versa. Like, so if nothing else, they were like, listen, you just live life, enjoy life, live it to the fullest.
I hope no one broke a neck, literally.
Well, somebody did pee in somebody's bed.
Okay.
That was a funny story. But no, I think that was definitely a big one. And there was also about, because we also had like couples, like people who've been brought in as like couples,
man and wife.
Yeah, man and wife, right? And just to see how, like, when you're with the right person, no, even in their old age, they still love each other. They're still holding hands. They still, oh, that's my wife. And then maybe if one passes away, and you just see how the other one is so broken. And oh man, and then kidogo, the other one passes away just soon after. Like, it's just one of those, like, man, just...
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Did that in any way inform your choices? We might not go in that direction around love and all that.
Now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't think back then, I don't think I gave it as much attention as I probably should have, because I was still very young. But, man, I wish I did a lot more then. Because now, knowing what I know now, I'm like, man, I should have really... been more
Observant.
Yeah, more observant, ask more questions, because they have so much wisdom. They have so much wisdom. And the older I get, the more I'm like, I want to be around people who are older than me and just like glean and learn from them. Because when you're that age, you think you know everything. Then you realize you honestly don't. There's so much wisdom. Like, just like with the older people, they have so much wisdom.
I bet. Okay.
They've just seen a lot more than we have.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely have seen a lot more than I had 10 years ago. So I think I'm in a very good place to advise my 26-year-old self.
Yeah. So college.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, let's put a timestamp around then. So when is this?
What year?
Yeah. What year?
I think I started working at that job 2011.
Okay, so the initial year was 2007. That's around the time you left.
No. I left in 2009. Sorry, this job is probably 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
want to say 2012.
Thereabouts.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a year we gave. No, that feels very recent. So so this is 2012, thereabout. Okay, Sawa, proceed.
Yeah, 2012 because I think I was at that job, was it like 3 years, I believe? Okay. So maybe till 2015, I think. Yeah.
Okay. What's the college experience like? Is it anything like you'd seen in the movies? It was as basic as home.
Child. So I tell people I never really had the college life.
Okay.
That people see. Not because it doesn't exist, but because of my situation at the time. So you remember how I said that we were 3 adults who needed to work? So yeah, I didn't get to enjoy college because I was constantly working. I would go to school 2 days in a week, and the rest of the days I'm working. So those 2 days I go to school is I'm having like back-to-back classes. So those 2 days are like my back-to-back days in school, and then the rest of the days I'm working.
Weekends included.
Yeah, weekends included. So I missed out on a lot. I did not do the homecomings and the parties. Nanini, I did not do any of that. Also, considering my brother was pretty young, and by that time my dad had left. So I'm also having to pitch in a lot at home and be present to like quote unquote babysit at a lot. So like when my friends are like doing the travels, like, oh my God, let's go to Cancun for spring break. I'm like, I can't. I gotta be home because my mom's working, so I have to be at home helping out. So I really did not get to enjoy my youth the way I would have wanted to, because I was parenting at the time.
Okay, but at some point it comes to an end. School, that is.
I actually did not finish school.
Okay. The hustle.
Yes. The hustle, and so then I was like, girl, you really don't like school. There's also that, because I was doing something I really did not care for.
What are you studying?
Accounting.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't look like an accountant.
At all. At all.
Yeah.
I was like, God. And so, because then, okay, so around that time is... Hey, don't laugh too hard, okay? At that time, my dad had left. And so I don't think I processed how much that was affecting me. Because then I also started noticing my grades were dropping at the same time. Because then I'm having to be home a lot more is expected of me. So I would find myself, it's like, let's say I have homework that's due tonight. And I'm like, crap, I have homework due at midnight. Sijaanza. So like I'm doing a lot of those like last minute things. And sometimes I would be at work trying to like do my homework nini. And I was like, this is not sustainable. And I'd promised myself I did not want to take out student loans. I had taken one out because, okay, and this was very, okay, so when I went to America, like August 27th, school, you're allowed to, if you stay in America for a year and then now you go to school, I could now go as a resident as compared to a non-resident, meaning it'll be a lot cheaper if I go as a resident. So I took a year, like a gap year when I left. So, but then now shule lifunguliwa August 24th.
So it's not a year yet.
So it was not a year yet. So I was a non-resident on a technicality.
3 days.
Those 3 days are like, what if I waited those 3 days and they're like, no, we go off of when school started, not when you decide to enroll. I was like, but damn. So I was forced to take out a student loan because I thought I was going to go in as a resident. So that was the only student loan I took out. And nikajambia, I'm not taking out another student loan. After that, like I was paying, I was able to get nini. Nini?
Bursary?
No.
Sijui ni nini. So natry kuchangia.
No, ile nye kai. What's that? Nasi scholarship. Ile ingine yenye
Help.
Well done.
Hey, Parvis.
Yeah, no.
So, ile you don't have to pay back.
A grant.
A grant. There we go. I was gonna say something like even like they do in the non-profit world. Grants. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was able to get a grant for like 2 years, and then by the third year, again on another technicality, I did not qualify for my grant. Na nikajambia, by then I'm not going back because I don't want to take out a student loan. And so I was like, plus I didn't really care for accounting like that. So, so plus I was like, okay, now I can be home a lot more and like work more, nini to help. Because now it's just my mom. And again, you cannot survive in America. Just at least at that time we could not survive on just one income.
Yeah.
We needed 2 incomes. So I was like, now I can work a lot more. So I just decided to nini school. That's why I didn't finish school rather.
So what did you pivot to? Ama, is that when
Finance.
you started the it's not that different.
That's very, yeah.
I ended up working in a finance company. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do finance because I did so well in math. Aye, my friend, that was not it either.
You did not enjoy it as well.
No, I did not. And then so I went from that to working at a non-profit startup. And that began my startup journey, working in startups. So I did that non-profit world where I discovered, oh my gosh, I actually enjoy doing marketing stuff. And I was like, I kind of like this marketing
And this
thing.
is all in Denver?
This is all in Denver. Then after that, I was like, all right, let's focus on marketing. And it's been marketing ever since. Yeah.
Okay, that finally took off, Maze. Are you having conversations with your dad?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And final question on this. Are you having your conversations with your dad now in 2025? Okay. That's all.
Aye. Let's underline that season and go back to before you left. Speaking to you now, there's a lot of referring to, God. Najua. So when did this start? Did it start back here? It was in your time in America? Then you're like, okay, you know what? Let me, so
Find
my
God.
question would be, what's that cut through line looking like? Were you a Christian here, then left and became stronger? What was that like?
I think, I was a Christian here. Like in Nilea, we all go to church as a family. Nothing, not one of those like, I know God for myself. It's like, I know God from association, so to speak. And then you remember the times like, I can't say I remember high school, unakumka. Like you'd get in trouble and then unachikuta umekimbia chapel, like, oh my gosh, please forgive me, nini. But then I think that got more crystallized, like when I got to really be like, I need to have my own relationship with God. It was definitely after.
Okay.
Later in my 20s, I believe. I feel like I went through a journey of just discovery of self. Especially when I did the whole I'm not going back to school thing. Because that did not sit with her very well. Because again, you're from an African household. What do you mean hauna degree? And then kidogo, like a year or two later, I'm like, Mom, nimeenda graduation year, so and so, nini. And she's like, na yako tutaenda lini? You know, you hit to those questions and like,
And African moms know how to throw jabs.
No, they do.
nakwambia. So I think because I'm going through a lot of rediscovery, and like I had to be so convinced in my decision, whether good or bad, and knowing how, because at that time so much of my life was very contradictory to what everybody expected, because I was always the good girl in the family. It's like this was the one who always motaratara was always me, and then here I am kind of like going against the grain. I feel like a lot of people could not understand what it is I'm trying to do, and even me myself, I'm really just trying to discover it. And so all that whole journey, I think, is why I found God.
Yeah. And what did that look like, in a foreign land, trying to reconnect with God? Because around here, that reconnection would probably mean doing the Sunday thing, would mean different retreats and stuff like that. But it could also mean, a lot of solitary choices.
Yeah, but also Colorado was one of the first states to legalize the use of psychoactive compounds.
And I was there when it
related.
happened. I was actually there when it happened. I was there around that time.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I never smoked nothing until 2019.
Oof.
Mind you, it probably got legalized almost 10 years before that. But anytime later I'd go to a bash, nini, everyone knew like slide and smoke. So it's puff, pass it,
Skip,
slide. Like it was always that until stress inakufikisha mahali, you're like, you know what?
Hey, pass. Yes.
And at that time it was like, the chocolates and the mints, nanini, it's so cutesy. But no, back to your question. What did that look like? I started doing the church thing. I started and it wasn't just church on Sunday. So me now, I started even serving in church. So that looks like, and I was also going to therapy at the same time, that same time.
Hey.
Okay.
A lot. Because there's a lot happening. And my therapist happened to be like her office was in church. Because now the thing about church is, when people, let's say they're going to school for psychology, I believe that's a degree. So they get their
Permits.
Sio permit. Ile kabla
something like an internship or something.
Yeah. Some would do it at church. Like the church would kind of offer that. It'd be like, you can come do your wacha internship. Kuna jina ingine. Attachment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abu.
Attachment.
Brains, mtu wangu, brains.
Yeah, so attachment
Ile
zilikuwa
ID gani
church.
bashi?
Attachment itakuwa church, for instance. And as much as the attachment, that means it's free. So they're not charging you because they need this credits for them to graduate.
Yeah.
So me, and it's another thing I say, thank God I was broke at that time. So then that meant I did not have money to now go buy like alcohol and things like that. Actually, it sounds funny, but I'm actually very glad I was broke at that time, because my God, the amount of stress I was under, I would have easily have been an alcoholic. So I was like, well, I know I need therapy. They're offering it for free. Let me go. So I remember therapy was on Monday. And then Tuesday we had young adults ministry. And then Wednesday there was midweek. Thursday, kulikuwa na kitu Thursday. Skumbuki Thursday. Friday then kulikuwa na kitu. Then Saturday, I remember I would go for rehearsals because now I used to work production for church. So we'd go do rehearsals on Saturday, Sunday in church. So I was in church a lot. But now the problem is when you're doing all of that serving, what you don't realize, you're not really in church. You are working church. So you still need to have time for you and God. Just because you go to church does not mean you and God have a thing. It just means you're there for work. And I didn't realize that until COVID, when I could not do church. And now it's like, okay, so now. So I think COVID, I started now really being like, well, the world is quiet. I'm like, all right, let me and God kind of start having our thing. And I started trying to figure out what that means for myself based on what I know. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We'll take it.
Yeah, you'll take it?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll take it. I was going to ask what have you found out so far, but
Actually, let me continue on that trajectory.
Okay.
So that was COVID. And then I want to say my relationship with God has really been I've really had to now get for real when I moved back to Kenya. Because now I am alone. And it's like, you wanted to rediscover who you are. Here we are. Here we are. You're back to the place that holds most of your trauma. So there's the dealing with the trauma, but then it's like, I cannot perform anymore. I have to face myself. And part of that facing myself looks like talking to God. Yeah. So.
Oh, I like that. I really like that.
same.
Oof. Okay. So there's a lot of strain, at least in the years leading to COVID. Yeah. It feels slightly cluttered. You know.
Yes.
What's going on? Is it work is becoming overwhelming? Is it relationships are straining you to? Are you too spread thin? What does that?
It's the brother.
Yeah. Is it family and all?
Disclaimer, I love my brother. Ronnie, I love you.
Yes.
Okay, let me put that out there because I'm sure he's going to watch this. No, I feel like that's my child. Because, again, I've been with him. Because, okay, when Maliza Form 4, he was 2 years old.
Okay.
And after like that December holiday, you're like, let's have a good time. Where? Not me. Me nilitupa shags. It was me, my shushu, and my brother. Because now my mom used to be a teacher. Well, she was in Kenya. And so a high school teacher. So she used to go for marking for KCSE. So now she's gone for her marking for KCSE. Atachia nani mtoto? Mimi. And so she's like, well, you go to shags. So you can be you and shushu with the baby. So me, I raised that boy. And then when we moved to America, he was 3. And we've been like this. So I have such a deep love for him. That's my
You've raised him.
I've raised him. That's my firstborn child. I have done the PTA meetings. I've done taken him to games like basketball practice and games. Like I am that crazy parent on the sidelines being like, Coach, Nini, that's me. So to answer your question about what was happening around that time, I was wrestling with, I feel like I'm being a parent for a child that did not have. I have my youth, I feel like my youth has been taken away from me. I did not finish school, and there's that thing that's hanging over your head of like, dang, am I a failure because I don't have a degree? I have been in some crazy relationships because of the trauma of feeling of being abandoned, especially by your dad. And I'm struggling with like, gosh, what's my passion at that time? Because I went to school for something I don't like. I'm really just trying to figure things out. So yeah, that's what I was going through around pre-COVID. That it was a lot of that. And then I had started making some big decisions because I moved out, and that did not sit very well with my mom at the time. Because again, we've been like this, and then now all of a sudden you want to move. Like, what do you mean? And then now my sister had moved to the same state that we were in, because we were not all in the same state. And with my sister moving to Colorado as well, the last time we had spent that much time together was when she was in Kenya. And when she was in Kenya, she only knew me as the child, not the
baby
adult.
sister.
Yeah.
The baby sister, not the adult. And now you come, and I have been playing the role of firstborn for over 10 years. And then now you're coming, and now you want to step in and now be the firstborn. So there was also a lot of clashing that was happening at that time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How do you make it through all this? 'Cause I'm like, this merits drugs. Unajua, this merits the passing, you know?
So actually that is, I went through, that's what now I'm saying, like 2019 is when I was like, is when I was like, I have a little bit of money. Now I can,
pass it, please.
I can indulge kidogo, and indulge I did. Yeah.
You're like, about that, yeah?
Yeah.
About that. Okay, what's the internal narrative? What are you telling yourself even before you get to that moment? Because here we are, all these years later, and you made it through that season, and you came out swinging. And look at you now.
Yeah.
So what are you telling yourself throughout that whole season?
What was I telling myself? Gosh. I can tell you what I wasn't telling myself. My opinion doesn't matter. Because I remember I struggled with the fact that I can actually have a voice, and that my voice matters. And the reason I say this is because I remember my therapist at the time. When I worked at the finance company, I had a team lead who in my head, and I don't know why this was even something I used to think, I always felt like everybody else is right, I'm the one who's wrong, right? Yes, I feel like nanyanyaswa, but I don't know how to put that into words. And I remember going to my therapist, and I'm like, I'm feeling something, but I felt guilty for feeling it. And I remember she asked me, why do you feel like you have to ask for permission to feel the way you feel? That for me was so like, I'm like, wait, what? And so I felt like during that season, I was now realizing that, it's so I can have an opinion in that, and it matters. Like, my feelings matter, my opinions matter. They hold weight. What was I telling myself? One was like, I guess it was what I wasn't, because I don't think I was telling myself a lot at the time. I was just going based on what other people were telling me I needed to do.
Caught up in this whole story.
I was caught up in making everybody else happy. And even though I was trying to like have like some sort of like a stance with like, no, let me move out. I want to do this. I want to do that. I still felt guilty about it because I saw how sad it made other people, because the thought of disappointing other people still broke my heart a little bit. I mean, I could disappoint, but before it was just I was still wrestling with the fact that I have to disappoint people, especially people I love, like my mother. Like I was really struggling with that. So yeah.
Okay.
Wagwan. What's going? Si wote tumebaki kwa moment.
Bana, najaribu
Marketing.
kuacha kucheka.
Okay.
So marketing. So
Yes.
at this time you're still doing marketing, or
I had just started.
you just started marketing, yeah? And so you move out. Are you enjoying marketing? What kind of? I suppose marketing is quite.
At that time, it
wide.
was more so digital marketing. Like that's when
so you're doing
social
TikTok
media.
videos.
TikTok, no, there was no TikTok at that time yet. Yeah, like it was like Instagram is starting to become a thing. Facebook obviously, but like now social media and social media marketing is when it's starting to pick
popping,
up.
yeah.
And so I was like, I remember when I was around that time, Canva had just occurred. I was like, yes, I'm like, wait, maybe I kind of like this creative thing, And I was like, I can now see my personality fitting into something like this, like upper, I can see it. And then also that's the same time I started doing events as well. Yeah.
Same about the events thing. How did that come up? The events thing.
Okay, so when I was working for this startup, like nonprofit, we're just 2 people in the organization. So that means you're doing a lot of everything. And one of the many things we were doing were like putting up events. It was a community organization. It's called the African Leadership Group. So a lot of what you're doing is for the African community. You're putting out events for them, after school programs for the kids. So there was a lot of like event organizing. I learned how to organize communities, bring communities together and things like that. So yeah, I was doing a lot of. I think I had an event almost every week, 1-2 events every week. So I had to get really good at.
Yeah, is that related to the African Leadership Group on the continent that has ALU, ALX? Well, that's totally different.
No, that's totally different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, every time you talk and you like paint that experience, I keep thinking of the Issa Rae show.
Insecure.
I
love. That's
Insecure.
one of those shows like.
It
It does something to me. Like I remember the first time I saw Insecure, I'm like, oh my god, this show is so real.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it.
Because I see it. I see the experience with the.
Because she did work at a non-profit.
Yes.
Her life was a hot mess. Yeah.
The relationships and all. So every time you're talking, I'm like.
About the yeah.
Every time you're talking, I'm like,
Yeah,
this like Insecure.
This is some Insecure.
It's like season 3. I see you in
Kasa
there.
sai niko season gani ya Insecure of my life.
Okay.
Niko season.
Hopefully season 6.
Nondis.
Anyway.
I demand to transition into that. Just like no, this.
No context at all. So Issa Rae, Insecure,
Yes.
season 6. But clearly it's not season 6.
I'm on season 5.
Season 5. Okay. We won't talk about the Nathans in your life. But yeah, the you and the events kind of thing. But that's, again, still the US experience.
Yes.
And it feels like you've been balancing all these things since then, from the marketing to the event like game for the longest. That's been 6, 7, 8 years?
Since 2018, that is 7.
7 years. 7 years,
7
Maze.
years. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. Any tough lessons like Issa?
Oof, a lot of tough lessons.
Yeah.
I think the biggest, especially when it comes to me for work, no one is looking out for you more than you.
Okay.
You're the only one that can look out for yourself. Yeah, and I think I've had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah. And would you say you've underlined this the most when you started your own company, when you're, working in other people's spaces?
I discovered that when I was working for other people.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always been the person, I've always had this mantra in life. And I honestly thought it's like my quote unquote purpose of living is I'm the kind of person that will help carry other people's crown. But and the person that I heard mention that idea of helping carry other people's crown, he also said, but you also need to know at what point you want to wear your own crown.
Okay.
Right.
I
And I
like that.
think for me, I was caught up in the helping carry other people's crown that I hid or shied away from wearing my own.
Okay.
When we started this, you talked about 2023 thinking about moving to Houston. How did that come about, and what drove you to making
Prompted
that?
that.
Yeah.
So what prompted it was I was watching Emily in Paris. And if you know the story, it's this girl who, funny enough, worked in marketing as well, and then moved to Paris on because her boss was the one who was meant to move to Paris, got pregnant. So they were like, hey, I cannot go, so you go on my behalf. And it was only meant to be like a year thing, right? For some reason that really spoke to me. But I felt like I'd gotten to a point in my life where I had given everything that I knew to give in the place that I was, which was Colorado for me at that moment. And originally it wasn't even Houston. It was actually going to be the UK. I wanted to move to the UK. And I kind of like the whole Emily moving to Paris. I was like, all right, I'll do UK for about a year. And I like just move out, just like find out what can happen outside of America. And then after that, do a year of that. And then we'll figure out what happens after that. And actually, the reason I chose UK, now that I think about it, was I was also at that time doing a lot of work in the music industry. I was working in a music label owned by an Nigerian guy who was also an artist. And so we were trying to sort of like create that Afrobeat sound thing in Colorado. And Afrobeats was bigger in the UK than it was in the States at the time. And I was like, all right, maybe the best place for me to go and learn the ins and outs of like how to kind of like move the Afrobeat sound into like other parts of the world would be the UK, because I felt like that's where they had really done a good job. I was like, all right, how about if I just go immerse myself into it when I go to the UK, learn as much as I can, and then when I move back to the States, then I can implement what I've learned. That was my original thought process behind wanting to go to the UK. But before that, I remember my boss at the company that I was working for at the time, he was like, Sylvia, you have a lot of PTO time that you haven't taken out. You need take some time off, go somewhere. Like you have so much PTO. So, and I was actually kind of stressed at that time, and that this is like the beginning of 2023. So I remember I had a friend who lived in Houston, and I had met him because he was in Colorado for work. We had connected and then moved back to Houston. You know how your friends are like, if you ever want to come to Houston, hit me up, I got you. So me, I actually took him up on that offer. I hit him up. I was like, yo, is that offer still on the table? He's like, bet, just come. So, and I prefaced it with, listen, I'm actually really stressed out. I just need to come somewhere and just not have to worry about anything. And it's like, I got you. So I go, and this friend had literally taken care of everything from like where I'm staying, had the whole itinerary for me. So I was able to just like be and just rest. And while I was doing that, sorry, what was your question?
Why did you moving to Houston?
Okay. Because I'm here just giving you tea.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So when I was there, and I think it felt very homey. And I was like, well, it even has a nice low, it has a really good like music scene as well. It's not, you cannot compare it with like the Atlantas and the LAs, but it has that underground music. It has a good underground music scene. And I was like, okay, I can see myself also doing something here. And just like that feeling of home that it gave me, I was like, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
And so when I went back to Colorado, I remember I get to the airport and I just start crying. And that's when it hit me. I think we're done with Colorado. We're definitely done, because I'm like coming back. I just felt like I don't want to be here. maybe I don't want to say it had something to do with the fact that Colorado has very few black people and Houston has more black people, and like that whole weekend I was there, I never got to see that many white people, and it felt good. And maybe that's it. But yeah, me coming back to Colorado, I was like, yeah, I think we're done. And then I slowly just started telling like my family and friends, and started plotting what my move would look like.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The one next. Oh, I really like that, because that has sort of brought us back to where we started. You know, we've done the whole,
Yeah.
I love it. I really do. Now, talking to you now, all these years later, you know, after your homecoming and now trying to find your footing here and this version of you now, we've seen you discovering your crown. We've seen you finding yourself through the event space and all these other things that you did, finding you even in the music scene. You know, you've really pushed yourself through the seasons. And talking to you now, you sound, you know, it has been a wholesome experience despite the number of scars. Yeah. So because a good chunk of your adulthood so far has been out there, being home now, what would you say we get wrong about that experience? You know, for instance, I don't know if you know Nyashinsky's story, but you can tell the moment he came back, maybe we'll get him on the podcast, but you can tell the moment he came back, the thoughts of going back to the US is like, nah, bro, it's not happening. Or so we'd think. And talking to you now, it feels like you're very happy in the space, you know? So what we get wrong, is it, I don't know, is it as exciting as we think it is out there? It's clearly less black people, of course, but yeah, what do we get wrong about that experience?
I feel like there's this misconception of when I want to go to America, because then, whatever country, not America per se, but I want to go so I can have a better life. And are there more opportunities out there? Yes. But with those more opportunities, the amount of stress, what working for those opportunities look like, the lack of community, even, I think for me it's the community aspect of it, the lack of it, just how much grinding you have to do just to get what feels like a better life, how much you have to sacrifice for it. Now that I'm back, I'm like, oof, is it really worth it? You know, there's so much loneliness out there. So many people are committing suicide. I remember there was a time it was death after death. And it's one of those, like, a Kenyan has just maybe come home from work, you think they're asleep, alafu apparently they hang themselves, right? Because they're like, can't do this. And this is probably someone that was, from the outside, they look like they're doing really well, they have a good job, they're making money. And then not to mention the cost of living is also pretty high. So you're making this money, but the cost of living is also high. You don't really get to enjoy that money that you're making. People are like, oh, let me send the money back home, nijenge nini unakoniwa. Like, it's just, it's a lot. And for me, I've never been the person who's like, oh my God, you should always go out of the country. I'm always like, if you're doing well here, honestly, just stay here. Yeah. Especially if you're a bit older, stay here. I can understand going when you're younger, maybe for the school and the experience of it all and nini. I can understand that for sure. But older folk, I'm like, seeing what even my parents had to go through, the fact that it's like you've lost everything and you have to start from scratch. You're uprooting all of your life and you have to start from scratch. That's tough.
It's a big lesson, man.
It's a big lesson. How's your mom doing through all these seasons?
In what sense?
how's she faring? What is she doing?
Yeah.
To make ends meet, and then 2, how is she doing?
So to make ends meet, she went into nursing, which is the one thing people like when you go. The one thing people tell you, go into nursing, and I have my thoughts about that. Because if you're claiming this is the what do they say, like with Americans, the land of opportunity, right? I'm like, if it's the land of opportunity, they didn't say it's the land of nursing. They said it's the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember when I told you, like, it was me and my dad who went first, and then my mom came later. The reason she came later was because she was doing her master's, and so when she graduated, she's never used it. And why? Because when she came, everyone was just like nursing, right? And if those are the loudest voices and everyone's just telling you nursing, as much as you have this thing that you want to utilize, and knowing that you know no one who can even help you get those opportunities, she's just gonna end up doing that thing that everybody's doing or what everyone is telling her to do. Even though I remember I was like, no, mom, see, uko na hii nini, masters, I'm sure we can find you something. Because actually at that time, when I started working for the nonprofit, even allowed me, I was also working in the education space a lot, because we were doing a lot of like education work, especially for the immigrant community in Colorado. So at that time, I now started having like connections even with policymakers, education system, politicians and whatnot. I was like, is it a job I can get that for you? But again, when the loudest voices are like, no, nursing, it doesn't matter me being because it's like, what do you know? See, you're also new here just like me, so what exactly do you know? But I've always wanted to be the person, even especially with the young Kenyans that I was able to influence. I wanted to show them that there is more to life. There's more opportunity than beyond nursing. So, and I was one of the few people who did not pursue nursing at that time. And so I was glad to even show even my brother, like, hey, there's so much more that you can do. And I'm actually excited because now for him, he's doing, he's going to become a teacher. Which everyone's like, wait, what? Because like, oh my God, you can be an engineer, you can be a doctor, you can be this, because he's very, very smart. But he has such a heart for kids and teaching and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm so happy to see him going after something he genuinely cares for and genuinely loves. Because I saw that taken away from my mom.
Her dreams.
You know? But now to see them being fulfilled through him. And it wasn't from a place of like, you need to go to teaching. No, it was just something he just chose for himself, right? And so that's what she does. And then how is she doing? I think for her, I don't want to say she's surviving, because I feel like I don't know if she has gotten that opportunity to really process. I'm sure there's a part of her that is processing, but I'm also getting to see her starting to live, right? Like just a month ago, she was in Mexico with her friends. And I was so happy to see her just like, just doing some, she's like, and we actually talked, was it Jana Majuzi? She's like, hey, sahi nafanya kazi mingi, nafanya hours. I'm like, you'll to me do more Mexico. Hey, Mexico we had fun in Mexico. To me do, but just, and I was like, Mom, life is short. You can always make more money. She's like, she's like, I'm glad I went out, and so just to see her just enjoy herself like that, I love. And she's also not planning of obviously like coming back, because she's done what she went to America to do.
Yeah.
She's raised her
thinking
kids.
of it.
Yeah.
Hey.
She's raised her kids. Like the youngest is in college, and he can now like survive on his own. She's like, I think I've done my part, and to be honest, she has. So
go, Mom.
Beautiful.
Welcome home. I guess that sort of leads us to the ends of the app. But before we even get to the like tip of it, your mom's thoughts of coming back home are sort of connected to what you're doing right now, because you have explored an opportunity of I wanted to say returnees, but that is always associated with like unajua
No,
I'm returnees from shreds of tenderness.
exactly war and all, but yeah, she's now coming back home, and you've seen this gap of say the summer bunny coming back home and they want to have a good time back home. I'm at the somewhere from out there coming here. You've seen a gap there. You want to talk about it, and we can hopefully plug that.
Yeah. So when I first came, I've always been. I like to be outside. let me just say that I'm an outside person, and even when I was in Denver, I was always the plug for what's happening around town. If people had friends coming to the state, that I'll always be the call, like, hey Sly, I have people coming over, what should we do, where should we go, what's happening? So I was always that plug. And so when I came to Kenya, I was like, all right, if I'm trying to meet people, connect with people, where can I go to even just find out what's happening around town? And at the moment, I hadn't seen anything. So I figured, okay, if I exist, if I'm sure there are other people out there who are probably thinking the same thing, and maybe they're not even people who are coming to the country, maybe even people around who are like, dang, I really don't know what's happening. And I was like, cool, let me just start a page where I will do the groundwork of figuring out what's happening around. I will go and scour the internet and asking people and things like that to find out what's happening in town, and I'll put it on a page. And so I created Corner 254, which is where I now plug people with what's happening in Nairobi on a weekly basis. But originally that came from the need to want to connect now that I've come back to the country, and I don't just want to be stuck at home or just be with family. I want to now start enjoying Kenya and Nairobi for what it is, and that's at least plugging myself with what's happening locally. And so
First of all, thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah,
I will thank you, because this is a conversation we've had here, because everything seems to be happening on Instagram. Everyone seems to have left all other platforms, including Kenya Buzz. I think Kenya Buzz still functions,
What's
but
Kenya
it's mostly
Buzz?
for movies.
It's an event space.
It's an event
Yeah,
page as well.
I think they were bought by Nation.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There's Kenya Buzz.
But I don't know. I think so.
There's Hustle Sasa, but it's more of a payment platform. But if you're not on Instagram,
there's like Ticket Ticket Sasa,
like
all of those.
places.
Yeah.
You have to go and like navigate through 100 tabs to actually figure out where all the events are happening, and if there's something that speaks to
you.
Yeah, speaks to you. And so we've had this discussion that if you're not on IG, then you're sort of locked.
You're clueless.
Yeah.
You're clueless about what's happening.
You don't know BN's happening.
I don't know BN's. So like for me, because I'm not on Instagram and I want to know, okay, maybe there's something I don't want to do this weekend. I have to take my phone and, because she has IG for business. Just go to Instagram. And so I've been thinking about this, and I even remember asking Abu, why hasn't someone done this? But then the question is, how do you get the permission by all these artists to have, or whoever is running an event? Is that sort of a business problem that you have to get permission from them to have things on your page, or that's not an impediment in any way?
No, I don't think that's something I've experienced, because they're trying to get as many eyes on, say, their event, you know? And so, because most of the time I find it because they've posted it, right? That's how I even know about it. But then I also have people who will send, now that they've seen what I do, they'll now send me their posters, or be like, hey, do you mind putting this on your platform, Nini, so that people can come? Because I'm slowly starting to create a community around it, and so they want to, obviously tap into that community. So no, I haven't faced anything like, yo, don't promote that for me, unless
I bet they'd be excited.
They'd be excited. Yeah.
Like she pushed Sanctuary.
Yes, and that is how I met. Was Sanctuary. And then the people who are putting Sanctuary together reached out to me, and they're like, hey, we have this show, do you mind posting about it? And then, hey, we'll also give you tickets for you and a +1. I remember I took a friend of mine.
Amazing.
It was really good. Like, you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
It was such a good show.
Thank you.
Yes.
So all to say, I don't think event planners would like Zusha about it.
So you're aggregating everything together, and I don't want that to happen because like I said, I'm one of the people internally in Kenya who would really benefit from this. And I'm sure there's so
not
many
on IG.
Yeah, there's so many of us on IG, but still want to find out what's happening and just every now and then go for an event.
Yeah, for sure.
So amazing. And how are you thinking in terms of this as a product? Is it just an online page? How are you building the community? What are the economics?
So it's there's more to Corner than just the events page. So I wanted to start with the events page just as a way. It was mostly, that was more a personal, selfish thing that I created. It was more so for me. It was like, I just want to know what's happening around here. But the more I started doing it, the more I was like, wait, hold on, this can actually become a thing. And so Corner 254 was so I can start creating a community, because then from that, I want to now start telling stories of people that have moved back. And that's where the Corner podcast comes in. So Corner is the overall brand name. And then I will have the podcast where we'll be telling stories of returnees. But now you're telling me that's not a very good term to use. But like people who moved back from the diaspora. Kind of telling those stories, because we hear a lot about people wanting to go, but what about the people that have decided to move back and they've done that successfully? Start telling those stories, because believe it or not, there are a lot of people out there who genuinely want to move back, but they're either afraid, they don't know where to start, how to do it. And I say I did it because I could, in the sense that I'm still young, I don't necessarily have any dependence. And I was like, oh, let me just do it while I can, right? And it's not because I had this amazing plan or anything like that. I was like, well, why not?
The motherland is calling. Yeah, shout out Dave Chappelle. Return home, please.
Returnee. Two questions in one.
Yes.
As we begin to wind up, what's been the most surprising thing about coming back, and what's been the most challenging thing to get used to?
Okay. Most surprising thing. I think surprising for me has been, it's more a me thing. It's not a Kenya thing. How I have to start from scratch when it comes to everything. Something as small as how to open a bank account. I was like, I did not know how to do that, because I never had to open a bank account here. So I think that has been the most surprising thing for me. I assumed like some things I would already know, and then you come and I'm like, oh no, I experienced Kenya as a child, not as an adult. And I had other people I could always run to. But now it's like, nice, it's just you. I think that has been the most surprising thing. Gosh, I feel like there's something else that has really... That's really what what comes
for now.
Yeah, for now.
For now.
Okay.
What was the other one?
Challenging.
The most challenging thing. Being alone. That has been, as somebody who has always been around people all the time, I've always had people around me. Not to say I do have people around me here, but it's different. I'm having even the family that I do have. Again, we knew each other as kids. Now we're all adults. Even my friends, I knew them who were kids. Now they're married. They have families.
Award-winning filmmakers.
Award-winning filmmakers. You know what I mean? They're like big people, and they're not the same people you left.
Yeah.
So there's an aspect of loneliness that comes with that. So that for me has been so challenging, reconnecting back with, because again, also when you come to visit on like that one month basis. It's just all fun, and then you go. But now it's like, oh, the month is gone and you're still here. Like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
No, you really get to know people.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's how you are when you go to work. Great. Like, because you're just used to just seeing each other during like a sherehe or like family gatherings and stuff like that. But now you really are getting to even know your family differently. Again, as an adult, now we are the new adults who now have to chunk up money for people.
Yep. Everyone
Show
is looking
up.
up to us.
Apparently, we are now the ones who cook at events. I never had to do that. Because then again, when you're out there, we don't have this kind of gatherings, right?
Yeah.
Hatuna like, oh, tunaenda kuona shosho, or like, oh, there's this, oh, there's that. So I'm also rediscovering what being part of that family community looks like, and expectations people have of you. Yeah.
And what's the most pleasant thing about coming home so far?
Oh my gosh.
Less white people.
Nah,
That part.
well, it depends where you go. The places you go, you're like, wait, where am I? You do a double take.
Alchemist.
You're like, oh, where am I?
Uko kwenye
I mean,
brand names leo.
Me, I'm not mentioning. Like, why? You know, some places I want to work with. Me, I'm not mentioning names.
Okay, sorry.
Tutabla.
It's not a bad thing, but it's just what it is.
Oh my gosh, the people, the food, the community.
Hey.
Gosh, those have been the food again. Yeah, but the sense of peace I feel when I'm here. Because then something I also never told you, when I came in 2020, it was right during
COVID.
not just COVID, but that's when like Black Lives
BLM.
Matter was happening. George Floyd had just been murdered. And so there was such heavy unrest in America at the time, especially for the Black people. And so I came in December, and I remember when I came, I felt like I exhaled. Like I was able to finally exhale. I didn't realize how much
You'd been holding up.
I was
breath, yeah.
holding. And I think that's when that idea was put in my head of like, I want to come back. I always knew I wanted to come back, but it's those things are like, no, down the line, nitakuja tu. But then when I came in 2020 and during that time, and I just felt that I was holding so much and I was able to exhale, I was like, I want to feel this sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And experience this. And so it was already a feeling I had been exposed to. So when 2023 happened and I said like 2 weeks, then I knew I'm coming back, because I was able to remember that feeling. I felt that, and I was like, all right, we're doing it. Because I mean, I've already sold everything. I've moved out. I'm like,
What's holding you back?
what's holding me back? Yeah. I quit my job, like all of that. So,
That's
yeah.
beautiful, Maze. Yeah, but hey, Gederi bana. Gederi slaps when you haven't had it in a minute, Maze.
Funny enough, I love Gederi.
Yes, yes.
After years of
It
McDonald's.
is
Yes.
so good. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Gederi.
Sindio?
Yeah.
You feel me, Maze? Yeah.
In a slap, I think.
Good. Yo, welcome back home.
Thank you.
Karibu nyumbani.
Asante.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
It's been an honor for us on the Busy Being Born podcast. Before we ask you our closing three, unless Kamande has something else, Maze, mintasema, we celebrate your journey.
Thank you.
The audacity to come back home, especially when everyone is thinking Kasongo is Kasongoing,
hey.
so we gotta go.
Literally, I came right when
Yo.
Kasongo was like doing the thing.
Yes.
Yo.
Unifika uko, what is
Whoa.
going on?
What is going on?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you still chose to stay here. The
Because
love
then,
is genuine.
we have Trump.
Oh yeah, there is that. There is that, you know?
Yeah.
Have you seen about the H-1B visa? The cost has gone up from $1,000 now to $100,000.
No, even more reason to stay, right? Sindio?
For who? For you or for me?
For
For us guys.
For us guys.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because no, me I have an American visa. American
Wait,
passport.
wait.
So mimi
Wait,
niko sawa.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
Where you
That is true.
Mi nasema for every other person bana. Nimekucheki tu kwa tuza bruv.
Immigrants.
Exactly, I go, you guys.
I didn't agree with that.
Oh, hey. Kwanza, you know. Okay, sawa. Anyway, Kamande?
No, I don't think we have time for this.
Yeah.
But I'd have wanted to know, on the personal level, what are the differences in the human experience from a point of companionship, love, here, there, in between, and how that has sort of panned across the years since you left Kenya.
Okay. Again, I don't think when I left, I hadn't really experienced. I was still very new in the dating scene, so to speak. So I was just excited to be around boys and to be able to like hang out with them and whatnot. And so I didn't really have a good grounding when it comes to that. So I feel like a lot of my expectations or even how I view relationship has such a Western lens to it, so to speak. Which, now that I've been back, there's a bit of a disconnect. I'm not gonna lie, because then I think I'd forgotten the African expectation when it comes to like relationships here and like the role of a man and the role of a woman here. I was used to the whole idea of like it's more so partnership na nini nini, and then you come here and it's like, no, this is what a woman is expected to do and what a man is expected to do, and then you get into a dating relationship and you're like, so sisi story na partnership no, okay.
Partnerships ni kwa law firm.
Ndo nimekuja kutambua, nimeambia hii Nairobi sile ya mamako. Yeah. So I think for me there has been a little bit of a disconnect, but then also because we are such the world is so connected, right? Especially with the rise of like social media and technology and whatnot. I feel like a lot of what am I trying to say? As much as I had this thought of like, oh, my expectations are very Western. I talk to other people and I'm like, oh, maybe it's really not. It's more so, it's less about culture and more so about the person. So I'm realizing we're the same and different all at the same time. And I don't know if that makes any sense. Yeah. Kuna expectations, yes, from like an African perspective, and also with the rise of just how the whole world is so connected. I'm now seeing that like merge of like even thoughts and ideas and whatnot, especially with the culture. Yeah, there's that. So I don't know.
Okay. All the best results.
That's okay. All the best.
Nairobi.
I have a few scars.
You've been here for 3 months.
I know. And I have a few. I have stories I can tell.
Sindio? I say less. Deluxe. Busy Being Born episode 72. Yeah. Tutatoa deluxe version ya mapenzi.
Call me back. I'll have stories.
Nilikuwa na kusema of rugby and events. Oh, good. Maza, really good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Let's close with the big one at the end, right?
At the end.
Yes, indeed.
Go for it.
We go for it?
Yeah, go for it.
Fantastic. So there have been a lot of Kenyans who left the country and came back. You know, it could have been for a couple of years, could have been for study. You know, the great Wangare Maathai, you know, left. Then she came back. You know, she got all she needed to get from out there, came back. Najua, Tomboya went out, came back.
Kiraito Murungi
went, came back. Unajua? Ngugi wa Thiong'o, unajua? All of them always
I mean,
went.
Jomo Kenyatta.
Well, I'm not sure we want to shout him out on this podcast. Yeah, but think of all these greats.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to be the ones who went and came back, but Africans that we celebrate. And you're on the Busy Being Born podcast because we think your life so far has a lot of lessons for everyone who's listening to you, everyone who's watching you, everyone who's around you. And there's some wisdom, a lot of it, in fact, from that whole experience so far. So if you're to be on this platform with all these different leaders and icons that we look up to, and maybe today it was Wangari Maathai's day to speak, so you didn't get the chance to. But on your T-shirt is a short message. Could be a quote. It could be something you keep coming back to and you'd like to share to the millions and trillions of Africans who are listening to you or watching you. What would that message on that T-shirt be? So short statement, very precise, direct message.
Wow.
No pressure.
Oh my goodness, that is such a good question. I would say, well, it's a statement.
Go for it.
You don't know how many lives are connected to you walking in your purpose. So don't be afraid to dive in.
Don't be afraid to dive in, Maze.
Have just one last one. If anyone is gonna pray for you and they have anything, they have just a slot left,
Yeah.
what is it that you don't want them to pray for you? What is it? Is it that you don't want them to ask for you?
That I don't miss the thing that I was put on this earth to do.
Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, I don't want to miss it.
And the prayers. Ours are definitely with you, Maze. We wish you well. Best of luck with everything, Maze.
Yeah.
Corner podcast. Yes, please. The moment it's out, please let us know. We'll plug it.
Please, and I would love
Yes.
to come back also.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Consider it done, Maze.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing.
With fewer scars.
Huh?
With fewer scars.
No more scars.
Hopefully no. I think I have enough scars.
Yeah, so
I
far.
honestly do have enough scars.
Hey.
But I know for whatever it is that I'm trying to do and where I want to go, I do need a few more battle scars.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
They're like
so-
infinity stones. So
Yeah.
maybe just one more. Ahmad, you've got
I
them all.
feel like they make for such amazing stories at the end of the day.
That's what's
They
up.
make for such fun. If there's nothing I have stories for days.
That's what's
Yeah. So,
Hey.
Thank you.
thank
Oh,
you
good.
so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for hanging out with us on the Busy Being Born podcast. It has been a joy hanging out with Sly, hanging out with this queen, and we are celebrating that she's finally wearing her crown.
Beautiful.
Sylvia, where do we catch you on the socials?
Okay, you can find me on every platform as I'm Sylvia Karanja on Instagram, on TikTok, Sylvia Karanja on Facebook, LinkedIn Sylvia Karanja, because I think I'll be doing some things on LinkedIn actually. So yeah, LinkedIn Sylvia Karanja.
And where can people find Corner 254?
They can find corner_254 on Instagram and TikTok as well as LinkedIn. Because then it's not just going to be like the fun stuff, even like networking opportunities and stuff like those. I'm also plugging those kinds of events as well. So
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
We wish you well. We will
Thank
show up.
please do.
We will.
And invite me to your shows.
Say less.
Let me know. I'll plug them in for you as well.
Asante
so,
sana.
yeah, I know. Definitely want to be there.
Thank you so much. May you be
Yeah.
happy and may you not miss your purpose.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And
Yeah.
you, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You can find us everywhere at busybeingborn_ and on our website at busybeingborn.africa.
Africa.
And as we always say,
If you're not, you always do that first part, unajua. So what do we always say, Kamande?
If you're not busy being born,
Then you're probably busy not leaving.
Kamande.
Kigodu.
Peace.
Peace. Asanteni sana, man. Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Do look out for more from us. For now, Kwaheri.